Good morning, students. In the last class of product building and structure, that is module 5, I taught you regarding the introduction of product building and structures, virtual product development, 3D CAD systems, digital mockup, model building, model analysis, and production planning process. Now, today in this class, I am going to teach you some of the remaining topics of this module 5. Those are, as per this contents in this video lecture: product data technology, variant management, product configuration, material master data, product description data, data models, status of items. We'll go through each and every topic in detail. First, we'll consider product data technology. Product data technology. What do you mean by product data technology? It includes all aspects of the definition and methods of processing of information pertinent to a product throughout its development and operational life cycle. That means if you take any product from the beginning of the life cycle to the end of the life cycle of product, beginning to the end stage of the product, whatever the pertinent information regarding the product will be there, it will be acquired. Okay, that is nothing but product data technology. Product data technology plays an important role as an enabling technology for process support in engineering organizations. It means it plays a vital role for the advantage of process support in engineering organization, and also it helps in dissemination of the product information to all the different domains which are involved in the product development, including the customers also. From its origin, product data management system offers functions for management of product data, product documentation, product structure, parts and components. Gradually, this is extended with functionality for management of processes, programs and projects. That means product data management PDM system offers functions for management of product data, not even product data but also product documentation, product structure for its parts and components. In general, though the process management capabilities of PDM systems are limited to support repetitive procedures like document approval and change orders, what is lacking is most PDM system is support for the value adding and often informal processes that are typically in early product engineering stages. So there is an lacuna in product data management, that is, even though the process management capabilities of PDM systems are limited to support repetitive procedures, like if you take a document approval and change orders, there is a lack of value adding and often informal processes that are typical in early product engineering stages. This is the drawback which the industries or the companies are lacking in the product data management. In these processes, data type transformations are essential and consistency management is crucial. To overcome this, data type transformations are essential and consistency management is crucial. Carrying a packet with all the different data items along with process like in PDM workflow make it difficult to enforce this form of consistency. So called workflow technology is an alternative solution that would possibly provide process management support for product engineering. See, therefore, to overcome that lacuna, so called workforce technology is an alternative solution that would possibly provide process management support for product engineering. Workflow technology originated from business process re-engineering initiatives and has proven application in office process automation. See, it has the proven application in office process automation. It is originated basically from business process re-engineering initiatives. Understand? A typical workflow management system is capable of routing information on the basis of a predefined process, assigning the activities to appropriate persons in an organization, and starting the appropriate tools for activity execution. So, here workflow management is capable of forming a route map and gives the information on the basis of predefined process. It assigns the activities to appropriate persons in an organization and starting the appropriate tools for activity execution. For example, to start with the design process, it creates a route map. The first, the design engineer thought process takes place and he gives the concept, starts from the conceptual stage, then he gives to the next process, is hand over the concept to the next process, that is a drawing or even a building of a model. So here it workflow management, it gives the clear route map and assigns correct persons for each activity for execution. The limitation of workflow technology is that it offers only limited capabilities for iteration and working with candidate solutions for the same problem in the same process. I will repeat. See, what is the limitation? The limitation of workflow technology is that it offers only limited capabilities for different steps and working with candidate solution for the same problem in the same process. Here, the same problem in the same process, working with the candidate solutions. See, that is the limitation. Engineering workflow is presented here as an enabler for better engineering processes. Engineering processes typically require support for many parallel activities with complex interdependencies, applying iterative design and development strategies while maintaining configuration control and traceability. See, what engineering process typically require? It requires support for many parallel activities with complex interdependencies. There will be many parallel activities happening in engineering industries. So, engineering process requires those things. Applying iterative design and development strategies, pre-planning of the processes and application is also required in engineering process while maintaining configuration control and traceability. So, now in engineering process, traceability is a vital thing to come out, to trace out where the problem occurs. Understand? That is the main thing here. An engineering workflow management system provides a shared and up-to-date process view across companies and disciplines and integration of distributed engineering tool sets and product data repositories. See, an EWFMS provides a shared and up-to-date process view across various companies and disciplines. See, and adding of distributed engineering tool sets and product data repositories. It provides these facilities. The EWFMS builds on the capabilities of both product data technology and workflow technology and effectively integrates product data and process capabilities with the flexibility that is needed in the early engineering phases. Please note down this. See, engineering workflow management system builds on the capabilities of the integration of product data technology and workflow technology with the flexibility that is needed in early engineering phases, because it effectively integrates product data and process capabilities. So this is very important. So you have to conclude here, engineering workflow management system is nothing but it is a combination of both product data technology and workflow technology effectively integrates product data and process capabilities with the flexibility that is needed in early engineering phases. See here, product data technology has a certain lacuna as well as workflow technology. To come out of that lacuna, we have to develop EWFMS, that is Engineering Workflow Management System. By integrating both the things, it effectively integrates product data and process capabilities with the flexibility that is needed in early engineering phase. See, this is about product data technology. Next is variant management. First thing, what is variant management? Variant management is managing the product variances across the life cycle of the product. See here, starting from the growth stage to the maturity to the decline stage in the life cycle process, the product may get varied based on the customer feedback, based on the information. So here that variant, that whatever the variance is there, that also requires a management. So here the entire life cycle of a product has the variances in every stage. So to manage that variances, there is a term called variant management. As products become systems of systems and the amount of embedded software and electronics increases, managing product variability becomes increasingly difficult. So you know that product is nothing but it is becoming systems of systems, amount of embedded software and electronics which is incorporated in the product. Managing product variability across becomes increasingly elusive for the company, right? Manufacturers are managing platforms, product lines, features and options ineffectively. This is resulting in increased errors, delay in meeting customer requests and extensive reworks. See what happens, manufacturers are in managing platforms, or even they are manage they are looking after the products and managing the products. They are looking after the product lines, features and options ineffectively. If they are not looking effectively, they are into ineffectively. So this results in errors, delays in meeting customers and extensive rework. To harness the power of reuse, increase productivity and reduce errors and delays, furthermore, manufacturers can define their product architecture. So, to overcome this delays and the errors, manufacturers can define their product architecture. Manufacturing need to define their product architecture and manage variability in one structure, such as a bill of material, rather than having unique structures for each variant. See what now, to come out of the delays and errors from the manufacturing side, the product architectures are to be needed for manufacturers. See, once the product architecture is incorporated by the manufacturers, there will be only one structure. There is only one, they can manage variability in one structure, such as bill of materials. You know, the bill of material, it is nothing but a structure of the product which gives you the detailed idea about the components and subcomponents, along with the size and shape, along with the material configuration, all those things. So bill of material is such a wonderful concept for the product architecture. So it has to be used by the manufacturer to overcome delays and errors, rather having a unique structure for each variant. Only one bill of material is sufficient, so that having more number of variants, unique variants, structures for each variant, it will be a cumbersome for the manufacturer, and it will be difficult. PLM software enables you to capture variability in one structure with the product data. See, always for variant management, a software is required. A product lifecycle management software is required that enables the manufacturer to capture variability in one structure with the product data. With this approach, manufacturers can define and manage platforms, product lines, product models, and variable items with features, options, and rules. So this is what I was explaining before. See, manufacturers, if they are not dealing effectively, due to inefficiency, there may be delay and error occurring in the different stages. To overcome that, you require a PLM software which enables to capture variability in one structure with product data. When it is utilized, when PLM software is utilized in the manufacturing sector of a company, it can help the manufacturers to manage platforms, product lines, product models, and variable items with features, options, and rules. Manage configural structures that capture variable and static contents, such as parts or technical documentation. This is also an added advantage. Configure a structure based on features and options to meet customer needs. Subject bill of materials to configuration and change management processes. See, with this approach, manufacturers can go along with this consequences of by introducing PLM softwares for the variant management. What are the benefits of variant management? View breadth of product portfolio and technical details all in one place. See, under one umbrella you can get the information of the product in one place. Tie variability and product data closely across disciplines and throughout the life cycle. Whatever the variances which are occurring and the product data which are closely associated with different disciplines, it may be marketing, it may be finance and other disciplines, that can be tied. Meet customer needs with features and options with greater efficiencies. This is the benefit of variant management. Adhere to configuration management, change management processes. This is also an advantage. Maximize part reuse by leveraging the power of commonality across product lines. It maximizes part reuse by leveraging the power of commonness which is involved in the product. For example, think that while manufacturing a certain product, a certain component of a product has been sent for rework. That rework product can be again utilized or can be reused for other product also. That is the meaning here. Streamline product design processes. Here it streamlines, the variant management streamlines the design process of the product. So these are the benefits of variant management. Next topic is product configuration. Product configuration is an activity of customizing a product to meet the needs of a customer. See here, it is a very simple definition. It is just nothing but an activities of customizing a product or morphologically changing a product according to the need of a customer. That is the definition. Although there are various levels of details and versions in this arena, our attempt here is to describe some basic characteristics of the topic. So, to provide product configuration basics, it is important to note that configurators enable mass customizations to be made by the producer for the customer. See, there are various levels of details and versions in product configurations. Here, we are going to provide product configuration basics. It is important to note that configurators enable mass customization to be made by the producer for the customer. Configurators are used to guide the user through the product definition process and serves as an important tool for choice navigation. Here, configurators guides the users through the product definition and serve as an important tool. They serve as the important tool for choice navigation. What the customer needs, see, they will provide the choices for the customers through the navigation tool. The process of configuration includes, in simple options, order entry. Choices are made about the product with no regard to the interdependencies between the choices. For instance, if you take an example, if one is ordering a truck, the choice may be size of the engine, color of the truck, size of tires, choice of trailers. For example, if you take this as an an simple example, ordering a truck. See, what may be the choices of the customer? The color of the truck may be a choice of the customer, size of the engine, size of the tires, choice or choice of trailers, whether the trailer is required for the truck or not. See, these choices will be given to the customer. So this is about the product configuration. Okay, this is a simple instance. One choice does not affect the others. Here, whatever the choice the customer makes, given in the example, for example, color of the truck is nothing to do with the size of the engine. One choice of the customer does not affect the others. In a rule based configuration, one choice may limit the possible choice of another selection. In the above example, choosing a certain size engine may dictate what size tires are allowed or what trailers can be chosen. See, in a rule based configuration, if you taking a rule based configuration, that is differ from the product configuration, one choice may limit the possible choice of the another selection. See, for example, if you are going with the size of an engine, then the size of the tire also may change. It has to be changed accordingly, right? So in the rule based configuration, one choices limit the choice of another for the customer selection. A model based configurator is a more of a parametric processor that will employ logic consisting of rules, algorithms and characteristics that must be calculated from a base version of the product. So a model based configurator is more of a parametric process. See, what is the solution for this? A model based configurator, which is of more parametric processor that will employ logic consisting of rules, algorithms. Algorithms is nothing but a procedures, a set of rules and characteristics that must be calculated from a base version of the product. In our truck example, entering the characteristics of the trailer may dictate changes to structural element to the truck that need to be made specific to this order, different from any other order. The frame may need to be longer, wider or made of heavier gauge metal, which may in turn dictate changes to the cab, wheels, etc. If you take the truck example, if you are dealing with the trailer, it may dictate changes to the structural elements of the truck. So this is a model based configurator, and then you may change the wheels accordingly and the heavier gauge metal, all those factors. A case based model will use the defined characteristics input by the user, and the system will try to solve the current configuration problem by finding a similar previously solved problem and adapting it to the new requirement. See, there is another model. A case based model will use defined characteristics input given by the user, and the system will try to solve the current configuration problem by finding a similar previously solved problem and adapting it to the new requirements. These are the parts of the product configuration. See, when it comes to product configuration and ERP, many of today modern ERP system utilize product configurators, which are referred to as CPQ, product price configurators, and typically found in the CRM module of the system. More complex versions may be found in the engineering or manufacturing modules due to the complexity of the model that is being used. This may also interface with CAD or other specific engineering modules. In these modules, once the configuration is completed, output include accurate pricing of the product, visualization of the products, bills of material for master planning, and process routing for manufacturing processing. So now this may also interface with the CAD along with CRM, CPQ and ERP includes the CAD or other specific engineering modules. In these modules, once the configuration is completed, outputs includes accurate pricing of the product. We'll get accurate pricing of the product, visualization of the product in the form of 3D models, bill of material for material planning, and process routings for manufacturing processing. However, most importantly, it allows the customer to get the exact product they need or desire within the limits of the chosen configuration. So it allows the customer to get the exact product they need or desired with the limits of chosen configuration. So this makes the customer to choose from a certain configuration according to the requirement. See, specific benefits to using a configurator include better turnaround to customer requests. It allows the customer needs to be fulfilled, more accurate information to the customer and internal organization. As more information will be given to the customer as well as the organization members. Customer differentiation through individuality, that is one of the benefits. You can, by individually, you can look into the various different customers, what they are looking for. Better knowledge of customer needs, will come to know what is the customer required. Less finished goods inventory, the company will be having less inventory, that leads to lean manufacturing system. You are studying about lean manufacturing system, right? See, that's one of the benefit. Less expediting to adapt a specific request for a customer. You are giving out less expedition, right? Reduced engineering time to develop a custom product. It reduces the time required for a development of a product according to the requirement of a customer. That is the benefit of a configurator. Reduced order entry errors and improved customer service, customer loyalty. Latest and greatest version of products being offered. These are the advantages or the benefits of using a configurator. Next topic is material master data. What is a material master data? A material master database, often referred to as simply the material master, comprising all the individual material master records stored in the system, contains descriptions of all the materials that an enterprise procures, produces and keeps in stocks. This is the definition of material master data. See, all the material which will be procured by the company, which will be produced by the company and stored within the company, will be in under one platform, under a single storage. It is a central repository of information on materials for the enterprise. It is nothing but a single entity where all the material data can be accessed by the internal customer of the company. Any individual of a company can access the information of material. It is a single entity. Understand? The integration of all material data in single materials database eliminates the problem of data redundancy. That means losing the data, and permits the data to be used not only by purchasing but by other applications such as inventory management, material planning and control, invoice verification, and so on. See what happens, what is the advantage of material data or material master data is there is no problem of data redundancy, and it permits the data to be used not only by purchasing but by other applications also, as I told you, not only by purchasing, by other applications also, and so on. Descriptions of the individual materials used in the enterprise are stored in material master records. Each descriptions of the individual materials, all the data, all this information will be stored in the materials master records. The following list shows some types of information a material master record contains and provides example of each. If you take information pertaining to the different domains, what a material master consists of, for example, accounting, valuation and cost pricing calculation information, example standard price, past and future price, and current valuation. See, regarding pertaining to the accountancy, valuation and pricing calculation informations will be there stored in the material master database. Next one is materials planning and control. Information for material requirements planning, MRP, in consumption based planning, inventory control. For examples, safety stock level, planned delivery time, and recorder level of materials. See, for dealing with MRP, material requirement planning, and inventory control, all the details of that will be stored in material master. For example, the stock level, the produce delivery time, and recorder level of material. Then purchasing, data provided by purchasing for a material. So example, purchasing group of buyers responsible for a material, over and under delivery tolerances, and the order unit. Also will be under material masters. See, after purchasing, even engineering and design data on a material, whatever the data is there regarding the design and engineering, example, if you take CAD drawings, basic dimension and design specification will also be stored in materials master. Storage, information relating to the storage warehousing of a material, example, unit of issue, storage conditions, and packaging dimensions. All those things also, this information will be stored. Forecasting, information for predicting materials requirement, even forecasting will be stored in the material master. Example, how the material is procured, forecasting period, and past consumption and usage. What is the present consumption of the material, how much usage has been done. All those questions can be answered by the master, material master. If the one look into those things, that information can be easily accessed in the accessed by from the material master. Sales and distribution information regarding sales orders and pricing. Example, sales price, minimum order quantity, and the name of the sales department responsible for a certain material. So all those things comes under material master records. Even regarding the sales, how much sales have been done, what is the selling price, all those data will be available in the material master, which is right. Next, regarding the topic is product description data. A product description is the marketing copy that explains what a product is and why it is worth purchasing. You understand? It is nothing but a marketing copy that explains what the product is and why it is worth purchasing. For example, if you take a coupling, a flange coupling, what is the necessity of a flange coupling, what it is, and why it is worth purchasing a flange coupling. That is regarding the product description data. The purpose of a product description is to supply customers with important information about the features and benefits of the product, so they are compelled to buy, so that they are forced to buy, so that you are going to convince the customer to buy the product by providing all the information regarding the product in the form of the description. Understand? That is the meaning. Product description enhance the customer experience by making your site look professional and helping you sell your product. For example, there is a breaker which is used in mining, or a crusher. For example, if you take a crusher, you might have seen, which is attached to the JCBs, or a breakers which will be used in a rock mining systems. There, if you take about that breaker product, see, if the customer, for example, as of now today, the breaker costs around 14 lakhs, or what you call a crusher or a breaker is one and the same, it costs about 14 lakhs. The description of the breaker or a crusher, if you give the information regarding that breaker, it has the cast iron shaft, pneumatic control, all those things, then the experience, whatever the experience obtained by the customer by your interpretation will be good. It feels better for the customer. Understand? So that it will be helpful for you to sell the product. Product description can also help you stand out from competitors by telling customers what your product has that others don't have. Right? See here, if you take one product with the other product, you may find different companies gearboxes or different companies lathes. If you have a bench lathe, two different companies, how one bench lathe is differ from the another bench lathe of a different company? What makes it quite differ? Right? See here, therefore product description is very vital and very important in the marketing aspect. It's nothing just but like a marketing, but it's not a marketing, it is similar to a marketing. You have to convince the customer by interpretation to such an extent that by you're not bluffing, by telling the truth about the product how it differs from the other company, right? That is about the product description. Descriptions are not just the end result of your marketing and click drawing strategies. They are the part of dangling carrot themselves. They are the part of the company, not just marketing. Okay. Description should describe the product, yes, but they should so in a way that helps answer client questions and draws them into the positive features of the product. See, whatever the customer asks the questions regarding the product description should have the answers. If the product description fail to answer the clients or the customers question, then it leads to the failure of the whole system. So it should contain all the data, whatever the customer asks the question, it should have all those things. It is this interactivity that separates good description from lazy ones. You need accurate information, of course, but you need an engaging way to bring it across and squash questions before they are asked. Before the customer asked the product description, whatever the list of description, you are giving a copy to the customer. Before asking the question by the customer itself, you should answer the question. That is the meaning here. What are the qualities of good product descriptions? Look into that. There are several characteristics of good product description. Heading and thumbnail image. Your customer's first introduction to your product can often define the user experience in many ways. Attributes are nothing but the good characteristic. A list of features including in or with the product. Product benefits, these are often more important than the actual product itself. It shows the product benefits, what the product does for people in what they are care about, often more than its individual characteristics, right? Extreme detail, this is also benefit. There is no level of detail that is too specific. Customer will always appreciate any little bit of specifically that caters to their exact needs, and many will look elsewhere if they find even the tiniest error or inaccuracy. You should provide to an extent level so that the customer is satisfied regarding the data or regarding the information about the specific product. Format and visuals, the vast majority of readers stop to take in only a quarter or less the actual content on a page, meaning that the feel and aesthetic qualities of the page will be of the utmost importance. Pay attention to page scrolling habits and the placement of your most important content in the right location. See, the format and visuals what you are displaying to the customer is also plays a vital role. This also benefits to the customers. Then next topic is data model. What do you mean by data modeling? Data modeling is the process of creating a data model for the data to be stored in a database. This data model is a conceptual representation of data objects, the associations between different data objects and the roles. Data modeling helps in the visual representation of data and enforces business rules, regulatory compliances, and government policies on the data. Yes, it is a process of, what is data modeling? It is a process of creating a model of the data for the storage purpose, right? Data modeling helps in visual representation of data and enforces business rules and regulatory compliances, government policies on the data. Data models ensure consistency in naming conventions, default values, semantics, security, while ensuring quality of the data. Data model emphasizes on what data is needed, how it should be organized, instead of what operation needed to be performed on the data. Data model is like architect's building plan, which helps to build a conceptual model and set the relationship between data items. What is the primary goal of using data model? The primary goal of using the data model ensures ensures that all data objects required by the database are accurately represented. Omission of data will lead to creation of faulty reports and produce incorrect results. So the primary goal is it ensures that all data objects required by the database are accurately represented. A data model helps design the database at the conceptual, physical, and logical levels. See, the data model will represent in all the phases, that is conceptual, physical, and logical levels. Data model structure helps to define the relation tables, primary and foreign keys, and stored procedures. It also helps to define the relational tables, primary and foreign keys, and stored procedures. How they are stored in the models. Those are all the things which are necessary for the client or the internal customer also will be represented. It provides a clear picture of the database data and can be used by database developers to create a physical database. See, before going for producing a physical product, one will go through the conceptual database, right? It provides the physical builder, a proper clear picture. It also helpful to identify missing and redundant data. Whatever the data is missing, and to regain it, it is helpful. Though the initial creation of data model is labor and time consuming, in the long run it takes your information technology infrastructure upgrade and maintenance cheaper and faster. So this is the main reason for opting for data models nowadays, even with the medium scale and large scale companies. Even the SMEs have to go for the data modeling in the perspective of PLM, right? See, otherwise what happens here, sometimes the customer may ask the product data which has been given a long back ago by a company. For example, the product think that the product will work for 15 years. That 15 years back, whatever the product which has been produced, whatever the data it should have, that has to be stored by the company so that the client gets satisfied with that data, right? That is the main aim of the data models. There are three different types of data models, as I told you: conceptual, logical, and physical. First we'll go through conceptual. This data model defines what the system contains. This model is typically created by business stakeholders and data architects. Understand? It is created by business stakeholders, businessmen and data architects. The purpose is to organize, scope, and define business concepts and rules. The purpose of, therefore, the conceptual data models, the purpose is to organize, scope, and define business concepts and rules, right? Then what is the logical data model? It defines how the system should be implemented. where the concept in conceptual data model it says what, this is logical, says how the system should be implemented regardless of the database management system. This model is typically created by data architects and business analysts. Even here the data architects will be involved along with business analysts. The purpose is to develop technical map of rules and data structures. The purpose of logical data model is to develop technical map of rules and data structures. It gives the technical touch to the rules and data structures. Then what is physical data model? This data model describes how again the system will be implemented, whereas logical is how system should be implemented. The physical is how system is implemented, will be implemented using a specific database management system. This model is typically created by DB and developers, data and business architectures and developers. The purpose is actual implementation of the data. Here the physical data model is actual implementation of the data. You can see here in this diagram the three data models which are intermediate to process models. Data requirement, logical data modeling is to logical data model. Technical requirements and performance requirements are the inputs to the physical data modeling. From the physical data modeling, you can see the physical data model is the output. From the physical data model output, right, again it can go to the create or update data. Business data is the input to the create data, and finally the data is overhead. See here the interrelations, the interlinks between logic, physical and the conceptual data has been shown in this diagram. The inputs and the outputs has been shown. From the outputs the feedback will be given to the each data in an descending order. See first you can see the logical modeling. From the logical again it given to the physical model. From the physical model it given to the conceptual model. You can see that, right? So this is about the data model. This diagram is necessary while explaining the data model. You have to draw this block diagram. What are the inputs and outputs, and the outputs feedback to the intermediate things. Advantages of data model. The main goal of designing data model is to make certain that data object offered by the functional team are represented accurately, right? The data model should be detailed enough to be used for building the physical database. It should be detailed in detail so that the physical database should be easily built. The information in the data model can be used for defining the relation between tables, primary and foreign keys and stored procedures. I already told this. The information in the data model can be used for defining the relationship between tables, primary and foreign keys and stored procedures. Data model help business to communicate the within and across organizations. It helps the business to communicate within and across the organizations. That means within the customers and across the organizations also. Data model helps to document data mapping in ETL processes. At the emerging and technological levels, help to recognize correct source of data to populate the model. See, these are the advantages of data models. Now we will go through the disadvantages of data models. To develop data model, one should know physical data stored characteristics. If the you want to create the data model, one should be aware of physical data stored characteristics. Then only data model can be developed, which will be consisting of three things, right? What are those? Conceptual, logical, and physical. This is a navigational system, produces complex application development management. Thus, it requires a knowledge of the biographical truth. Right? This is the navigational system which produces complex application development management. So, it requires a knowledge of biographical truth. Right? Even smaller change made in the structure requires modification in the entire application. See here, this is the drawback of the data model. Whatever the small change is done in the structure, product structure and the configuration requires modification in the entire application. There is no set data manipulation languages in DBMS. This is another drawback or the disadvantage. Then the last concept is about the status of items. The item status determine which item transactions are performed in supply chain management applications. Mainly in supply chain management application, the item status determine which item transaction are performed. Right? By changing an item status, you control, for example, whether items are included on sales order, material stock request, requisitions and purchase orders. See, by changing the item status, one can control, for example, whether items are included in sales order, whether the item is included in sales order or not, material stock reports or not, requisitions and purchase orders, whether it is included or not, right? You also control whether an item is picked and shipped, used in production or replenished, that means reused. The item status that is defined at the business unit level determines which item transactions are permitted in the inventory, manufacturing and supply planning. What is the meaning of this? The item status that is defined at the business unit level. What is the state of this item presently? If one asks within an organization, it should determine the item transaction which is permitted in inventory, manufacturing or supply planning, at what stage it is. Valid item transaction in purchasing are determined by the item status at level, except when the inventory business unit is referenced on requisitions or purchase orders. See, for example, here in the table, the color coding will be given the blue, green, orange and red. See, there are three factors: function or design, logical or availability, support. See, in the blue zone, the function of the design, the status of item, serious production improvements have been incorporated, final polish applied to design and function. For example, if you take the design at the design stage, the item, status of item, it may give final polish applied to design and function regarding the designs and the functions. At the logistic levels, product quantities have reached target volume or not, flow smoothly even when demand surges, and availability, right? Here the blue stage means it gives in the logistic or availability, product quantities have reached target volume. Blue means product quantities have reached the target volume. It gives the status of that item and flows smoothly when demand surges. Support. Training for product is standardized. Online support and FAQ established. The blue color indicates that the state of item is for the training level. At the training, one online support and FAQs is established for that particular product. Green level. What is the green level? Indicates products are available in series, production quality and may be used with no particular technical constraints or risks. with respect to the design, with respect to logistics, unrestricted sale products from our own production are available. Example, stock, shipping volume is on the rise. Here, this green level, for example, gives the status of the item that shipping volume is on the rise. Here, support organizations have necessary product skills, it can be fully supported. Orange color indicates here products are available in series, production quality in the pilot phase, and any deficits of function or designs are found and corrected. So, orange level means it's at the beginning level, right, where the deficiencies or the deficits can be changed in the design. Even regarding to the availability also, products for restricted sale delivery not at stock level, quantity limited, customers are informed about pilot status of product is known through organization, support capability is still limited to a few individuals. Red color, what do you mean? Status of item in the red. Laboratory and functional models are available for laboratory and field trials, not for sale, not for use in customer producing settings. Here the product is not for sale, it is at the trial stage. No product orders are accepted in the logistics. Scheduling in a new key project may well be possible. Inquire about delivery dates. Developers and product managers advises on functions and look after laboratory and field trials in support. So there are 4 zones: red, orange and green and blue, which gives the different status of items in the different domains, in the functional, logistic and support domains. So you can see in the diagram, see where in the initial stage there is a gradual rise in the status of item and it remains linear after some time. See, there is a gradual status of item, there is an initially, if you look into the curve, in the red and orange zone, it is varying. Item status of item is not constant, it is variable with respect to the percentage. It is not met 100%, still it reaches the blue zone, right? In the green zone, there is a small chance for variation, that is in between 95% to 100%. And in the blue zone, it is linear. That means status of items is known, where the changes can't be made in all the domains. Right, functional scope, freedom from errors, advisory performance, then delivery performance gives you with respect to time in the blue zone. Here you can see the bar bar graph, delivery time in delays with respect to the percentage. The one target delivery performance, 80% of deliveries in 2 working days, 94% of deliveries within less than a week, on-time deliveries greater than 98.5%. See that there is an delivery time in delays. See if the status of items shows whether the items are delivered in time or not by this graph, right? See, this ends the 5th module, product building and structure. I have given 2 assignment questions for you to answer. If you answer this assignment and submit, write and submit, then only you are going to get the attendance. See, this completes all the 5 modules. See, please ask the doubts and any questions regarding to the any module, any requirements from your side, I'm always free to answer your queries and free to answer your doubts. You can call me so that I can interact with you students. Please write the assignments. Once again, I'm reminding you assignments, and don't be absent. Okay. See, in the next class, we'll revise the modules. Revision. I will carry out revision for all the modules, and I will give you. I will show you the important questions which has been asked previously in the examinations and in the model question papers. Okay. Thank you.